There was a tremendous range of projects in this year's RIBA Research Awards. And what really struck me is the amount of research and practice that goes on.
We were excited about the diversity of the topics and real search for knowledge in so many different aspects of architecture.
If you extrapolate the amount of time that you as one person spend engaging with it, it's an extraordinary amount of imaginative effort and time that's invested in considering them, which is impressive.
I mean, it's both fascinating and sort of daunting to find 75 research projects, and I think it was also good. There were people who had done master's dissertations, people who were just submitting chapters or early deliberations on work, and I think it's important that these are also encouraged and supported.
The quality of the work allowed us to have some quite challenging and profound conversations about the nature of research and the nature of research in relation to practice and academia.
Some of which are enormously influential in architectural practice, others which are influential in the development of the history and philosophy of architecture, which is obviously a slight distance from practice. But I think the interesting thing is the breadth of the projects that we've seen.
Just the sheer international dimension. I think what was interesting and surprising was the degree of projects which involved activism and community engagement.
Projects that had sort of multiple dimensions and engagement definitely stood out today. I think that was sort of overarching theme.
Researchers and groups of practitioners in very, very difficult circumstances sometimes, doing things which were very brave within the context. And that allowed one to really question one's own sort of ethical and political position in relation to what is good and what is bad in research terms. And I found that surprising and really powerful and very moving at times.
Many architects become architects in the first place for humanitarian reasons, because they want to make cities better places. And through this very detailed kind of micro research, which has taken place in some of these, particularly in some of the refugee settlements, it definitely highlights, small moves that can improve the quality of day-to-day life.
Within architecture, if nothing else, we want to be useful and we want that insight to be able to be applied into some other context.
It's about showing how research informs what you're doing. You can do a lot of research, you can do a lot of architecture, but how do you combine the two?
The papers that were most exciting to read for me were ones where people in practice had tried to find ways, A, recognise that as a valuable thing that they have, and B, then tried to find a way to make that approachable, like recognise it as part of their work.
The really important thing is to be very clear about what your project is about and what question your project is about. What are you trying to reveal? What's the question that you're trying to answer?
I think the papers that were really strong had done that. They'd considered the research award as an independent output and had invested time and considered the audience as different to maybe the audience they'd normally be working for or working with, whether that's a client group or a different kind of academic output.
It's an interesting way of focusing your ideas and being very clear about the nature of research in practice.
So many things are dismissed as not being research because they're not recognisable in conventional terms. But within a context where there is generosity towards what they might do and achieve, have a go.
We've had some really lively discussions. We've got people who cross the boundaries between academia and practice. Those sorts of discussions are always really rewarding. The sharing of ideas is what it's all about.